Well, lawyers for Ghislaine Maxwell vowing to appeal a jury's verdict that found her guilty on 5 of 6 charges in her sex trafficking trial. One of Maxwell's victims today joining the many voices demanding others accused of enabling Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking ring could be held accountable. Watch.
In this particular case, we know there were other people involved and other perpetrators, and we certainly hope that there will continue to be investigations so that other people will be held accountable for the ways that they abused people.
Yeah. Here now, attorney Brian Claypool and criminal defense attorney and former head New Jersey County prosecutor Bob Bianchi. Gentlemen, welcome to you both. I got to say, Brian, you called it earlier this week. You said that you believed Ghislaine Maxwell had a legitimate chance of being convicted here. That said, meantime, lawyer for the other Epstein victims is saying this, quoting here, satisfaction with Maxwell's conviction is tempered by the knowledge that other co-conspirators have yet to be held responsible. Doors closed by Epstein's death may be opened by the very strong motivation Maxwell now has to unlock every door to which she holds a key. The question to you, Brian, is, will she sing? Does she have motivation to sing?
Trace, great to see you again, and Happy New Year. Are you serious now? We're going to rely on Maxwell? This was her defense, by the way, Trace, the whole case. Zip. I'm not saying a word, right? Despite all these horrible allegations, now she gets convicted. Now her lawyers, oh, we're going to appeal. There's nothing to appeal. And now we're going to rely on her to provide us with evidence to try to indict other people. Shouldn't she thought about that? Shouldn't her team have thought about that prior to this trial and this porous defense? Maybe she should have copped a plea deal and then provided this information then, because then it could be more reliable. Bottom line is, Trace, you need reliable, credible information to form an indictment. She's the only person you can rely on. Maybe there's a couple others. What about the victims? You and I talked the other day, 100 alleged victims. Wouldn't that information already be with the FBI where they can indict others? And at the end of the day, the only potential crimes you're going to get are conspiracy, meaning there was an agreement with Epstein. None of these other people likely engaged in sex trafficking like Maxwell. She was on the front line. So it's going to be difficult, I think, to indict others.
What do you think, Bob? I mean, does she have any leverage at all?
Happy New Year to both of you guys. She has something, but I agree with Brian, and I'll add one more thing. She's damaged goods. Look, she's got a right to a trial. There's not a problem with that. But as Brian indicates, prosecutors want people in the beginning of the case who are cooperating so as to take the sting out of the cross-examination that you're only doing this to save yourself, which of course you are doing in the beginning of a case. But after you've been convicted, prosecutors also don't like the idea of giving you the benefit of now being able to cooperate when you could have done so early, because it incentivizes people to wait till they get convicted until they decide to cooperate. So I think that it's going to be very difficult for prosecutors to put a witness like this on the stand unless they have significant corroborating evidence and they need her testimony, and it's kind of repetitive, but then why give her a break?
Let's go to the next step now. Senate Judiciary Committee member Ben Sass, the senator, says, the quoting here, the verdict should be the end. Shouldn't be the end. The DOJ needs to go after every single scumbag who committed crimes with Maxwell and Epstein. First to you, Bob Bianchi, a deeper investigation could lead to some bigger names. Is there an appetite, do you believe, to go down that road?
No, I don't think that there is, for the reasons Brian and myself are both speaking. The prosecutors do not just start going after people because they've got big names. They go after people. They love big names, but if they can prove a case beyond a reasonable doubt, they don't go there to lose the case. So if they don't have the evidence and they don't have the witnesses and they can't prove a case to 12 beyond a reasonable doubt, you're not going to see that happen.
Brian, 10 seconds.
Yeah, Trace, this is politics again permeating the legal process. We need to preserve the integrity of the process. These politicians should have spoken up in the 1990s when there was an allegation in Florida that was never prosecuted. This is all lobbying and not a legal basis to pursue the claim. I think we need to move on.
Though we should note that Jeffrey Epstein was a convicted pedophile. Brian Claypool, Bob Bianchi, gentlemen, Happy New Year to both of you. Thank you.
Happy New Year, Trace.
You bet.
Why suspects in the plot?